All right, so let us continue with the theme of student voice and turn back to public participation, item 2. This is a wonderful part of the year when we get to hear the end-of-year presentations from our State Student Advisory Council on Education. I know every year I look forward to this opportunity, and I know that is shared by the other board members. We got a little sneak introduction to them during the earlier meeting, so I'm excited to have them come and join us. So at this point, I'll turn it over. You can come to the, however you're doing your presentation, you feel free to come to the front table.
Hello everybody, so we are in the first CAS group, the State Student Advisory Council on Education. And so our task is basically kind of looking into school attendance and improving school climate and student success through the attendance path. And just to first introduce myself, my name is Melinda Liu, and I'm from Emory Regional High School.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Wall, and I'm from Daniel Hand High School.
Hi, I'm Sinead Blackwood, and I'm from New Britain High.
Hello, I'm Melissa Newton, and I'm from Norwich State Academy.
Hi, my name is Daniel Monroe, and I'm from the Academy of Science and Innovation.
And you can go to the next slide.
Okay, so with the effects of COVID, we're really great on attendance issues. So before the pandemic, about 8 million students were chronically absent, and after COVID in the years 2021 and 2022, it at least doubled, and it still remains high. It was worse, as you can see in the top graph, it was worse for kids with more remote learning, and it is also high for all groups, as seen by the second graph. It is worse for kids with high needs, but for all groups, the numbers remain high. There's a lot of mixed messages after COVID that were leading to this, such as when to go to school, who to contact when they were sick, and confusion about school policy. The reason chronic absenteeism is so important is because if you are chronically absent in kindergarten, it can affect your ability to read on a 3rd grade level, and which leads to lower performance in middle school, which then leads to higher dropout rates in high school. So it really does affect you for your whole life. You can move to the next slide now.
Okay, so we decided to make a survey. We're glad we got over 300 responses on a student survey about chronic abstinence syndrome. And our focus on the survey was just gathering from the students actually what was causing the chronic abstinence syndrome, especially after COVID. So they said that some factors was parent engagement, extracurricular activities, student-teacher relationships. Next slide.
Alright, so these are the results from 6 of the surveys that we took. But to summarize them very briefly, students reported that the easiest way for schools to contact their parents or guardians was by phone, yet only 37% are likely to listen on a day-to-day basis, leaving room for miscommunication or misinterpretation. Moving on to the next 2 charts, the student surveyed 84.2% participate in extracurricular activities. The biggest limitation in participating in extracurricular activities is transportation. 88% had a good relationship with their teachers, and a little over 1/3 say their teachers do not go out of their way to provide class time to build relationships with students, making students more inclined to miss school.
Next slide, please. Okay, so between parents and educators, also teachers and students and all that. So the survey said that 52% fully understood the process of reporting absences, and 47 fully understood the COVID/sickness stay-at-home policy. So honestly, I think what we need to do is increase that percentage tremendously, so that everybody is fully aware of the expectations for attending school. Some feedback from students was very valuable. A few that we want to highlight is that rewards for students with perfect attendance could be a great incentive to come to school. So things like access to athletic facilities, after-school activities, social events, that sort of stuff. And then another thing is teaching time management skills. I know I definitely need help with that as a student. So that would be another really great tool. Also changes to school schedule, so shorter days in classes, some flex periods, or what we have in my school, something called Wellness Wednesday, right? So that's 30 minutes every Wednesday to kind of decompress, talk with your teachers. Again, all these things really increase transparency between students and teachers. And lastly, providing resources for mental health and burnout. I'm sure you guys have heard of senioritis. And kind of losing that motivation towards the end of the year. So if something could be done for that, I think that would tremendously improve attendance.
Next slide, please. And so as for the State Board of Education, we have a couple of policy recommendations. So especially in terms of professional development, we like to suggest that schools implement more Tier 1 supports or foundational supports. So that basically means instead of waiting until it's in crisis mode or there's a certain percentage of students with chronic absenteeism, we start preventing chronic absenteeism before it even starts. So for us, our policy focuses mainly on high school students, since that's where we drew our data from. And so, as Rebecca said earlier, we like to have increased transparency and messaging with students, teachers, and also as parents. And for the State Board of Education, we'd like them to at least provide recommendations to schools about how they can display their policies to make them more accessible to the public and also the students. And also in terms of chronic absenteeism letters to parents when students are chronically absent, we'd like there to be more positive wording to actually encourage students to come to school instead of making it a punishment that they aren't. And lastly, we'd like to have more of an emphasis on homerooms or building relationships that we talked about earlier. So for the State Board of Education, we'd like to kind of, instead of just using the 2 mental health days as a state recommendation, actually having more recommendations surrounding how schools can build mental health and also better resources for students as one of our suggestions. And so as for our attendance group, we'd like to thank you so much for your time, and we'll be moving on to the next topic.
Hi everyone, we are the second CAS group, and our topic was encompassing engaging curricula. My name is Beth Margowitz, and I'm from Rocky Hill High School.
Hi, I'm Veronica McKenna from Weathersfield High School.
My name is Yasmin Gaded, and I'm a junior at Woodland Regional High School.
My name's Ken Elliott, and I'm from Tolkien High School.
My name is Nicholas Solis, I'm from St. High School.
I'm Jim Troden, I'm from Palmer High School.
Next slide, please.
So to introduce the problems in the schools with attendance. So 17.6% of Connecticut students were chronically absent as of 2022, which that's only 20%. And according to a study conducted by Yale, 60% of high school students feel negative emotion towards school, which can include things like senioritis. So students want more opportunities to learn about culture, and they want more opportunities to learn about certain things that they feel would connect them more to the school system and would keep them
in school. And so 8,000, almost 9,000 students out of 41,000 received interventions for their chronic absenteeism, which that's only like 20%, which is not even close to almost 50%. And so more help needs to be done there. Next slide, please.
So really going off of that statistic, that 68% of students want more opportunities to learn about culture, we wanted to first identify a problem with curricula, and that students will find curricula more engaging if it's relatable. When it comes to topics like cultures, students often have to go out of their way or take some other classes to learn about these topics because it's not implemented in those daily classes that you're taking. So just to provide an example, the Black and Latino Studies class is now offered across the state, and that's amazing. I was honestly so excited when I heard about that. But the only problem is at a lot of schools it doesn't run, and students who stereotype others and need to learn about culture are most likely not going to go out of their way to take a class about culture, let alone a year-long class. So it's really important that students are given the opportunity to learn about culture in a format that's not a optional year-long course, especially because students are already overwhelmed with scheduling, and fitting that in can be very difficult. So it's pivotal that we put it in classes that students are taking no matter what. So continuing to offer this course is amazing, but implementing small cultural segments into courses that are mandated is what we need. So perhaps this segment is about, Middle Eastern culture, or an event that took place in the Middle East. A small cultural segment about the geography of the area, basics of the culture, even just for 5 minutes, could really take things to the next level for cultural education. And also it's really important that when we talk about countries outside of Europe in a world history class, it's not always in the context of colonization. That's just another important point to be made. So, next slide.
Proven model for increasing or rather decreasing chronic absenteeism was the Harvard Student Internship Program, in which students were able to go and do an internship and learn actually about things that they thought were applicable to their life or things that they just wanted to learn about. A quote from Michael Maziarz, then principal of the Academy of Engineering and Green Technology, was, "Our kids who do internships stand up straighter, they're more focused in the classroom." So, this has been proven that doing an internship increases productivity and decreases chronic absenteeism. Next slide, please.
So a huge problem we saw with engaging with students is something I like to refer to as TikTok attention span. And as we have this new influx of short-form content in the form of YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and of course TikTok, which is one of the most popular apps, not only within students, but with everyone, we could see the declining attention spans in students and their ability to pay attention during the long lectures and classes. And we see it's a huge problem, and we find a solution for that.
I like to refer to it as a TikToking time bomb, the problem of short attention spans. TikToks are usually like 15 seconds to a minute. Recently, they just upgraded to maybe 3 minutes max for a TikTok video. Not like, and then going to school and having your class be like an hour. That's just that doesn't help. If you use the 3-minute videos, going for an hour just doesn't work. I'm realizing this is a little bit of an alliteration. It says lengthy lectures lead to less learning. But you go to school ready to learn. Even if you're not so engaged in the subject, you're like, okay, we're gonna do this. And then it gets like 20 minutes in, and you're like, okay, when is this done? You're just talking, you're taking notes, and you get, that's not good for anybody. If you're more engaged in the topic and the teacher even just something as asking questions instead of just droning on, that just keeps you on your toes. If you might have to answer questions, you're not gonna zone out, you're gonna actually pay attention to the material. I think that more hands-on learning is necessary. Maybe in some classes that doesn't necessarily work, but science or experiments, I think definitely is something, while science is a big struggle for many kids, and I think, if you do more experiments, people are excited, they come to school on the experiment, that's what I've noticed at least, and like that's something kids definitely want to get involved in. Next slide, please.
Going on with the hands-on learning, another example of hands-on learning and also getting out of the traditional classroom are field trips. And there's evidence that field trips is not only more engaging, but improves their lives in the long term. 59% of field trips, or students who go on field trips have better grades, 63% have higher graduation rates in college, and 95% have higher graduation rates in high school. And going really long term, 12% of students who go on field trips have higher annual incomes. So even though it may seem like a small feature happening in the moment, things like field trips and hands-on learning can have outcomes that go on for the rest of students' lives. Next slide, please. Thank you for listening, and we hope you take our recommendations into account.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And I certainly allow other board members to comment as well. I want to thank each and every one of you who contributed their time over the year to pull this together and your time with us today. And also acknowledge the advisor, Sharice Miller Odokwe. Thank you so much for the time that you spent supporting these young people as well. Attendance is something that we have been talking about a lot around this table, and have heard lots of perspectives around this table. But I feel that student voice was missing from a lot of the conversations we've had around school attendance. And so this is very timely and important focus that you're bringing in, and certainly given us some things to think about and move forward with. Board members, questions, comments?
I did have one question, and it was on the first, the curricula. There was a solution, the very last solution to continue to offer this course, but, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing, sorry. It was the one that you suggested, homeroom period. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
So I know schools recently have taken away homeroom period. Is that the case?
Yes. So our emphasis on homeroom periods was mainly, instead of just purely having homeroom as just like staying in the classroom for a certain period of time in the morning, we suggest more engaged learning. So for example, at my school, we do something called seminar, and what's more effective is not just having kids in a room with another adult, it's more having like activities for these kids to do and something that allows them to step away from school and be able to either learn practical skills. So this year we focused on like personal finance in those settings, or either building relationship skills, so that could be more social skills or more social activities that students could engage in advisory style or seminar-like classes instead of just purely having students in a classroom with another adult. So this is like in addition to advisory or in lieu of, like for those schools that maybe don't have advisory, to do this in the homeroom period, to extend the homeroom period? Yes. Oh, interesting. Thank you.
Yes.
So, okay. On the first survey page, you asked students to rate their attendance. Could you just explain like what you meant by rate and how the numbers work? Like, did you provide guidelines?
Maybe just help me go back up. Or a couple on each number. Yeah.
So basically for the survey, so if I was like,
I have great attendance. I go to school all the time, every day. Not necessarily perfect, but, you know, missing it only here and there. And then level 1 was like, chronic, to be absent, not often in school.
So thank you. I just want to add my voice to the thank you for the great presentations that you made on 2 topics, as we talked about, that is so really important to us, attendance and its connection, right, having engaging curricula to be there. For some of you may know that I last week spoke at a congressional hearing on mental health. And the Surgeon General released a report on the epidemic of loneliness, and really as this major issue that's now impacting not just our young people, but the elderly as well, and the need for social connection. And so what I hear you're talking about, even with the explanation just now, is the need for you all to get together as peers, right, and to be able to support each other in this space as well. And so I appreciate the solutions that you're sharing, and also it is a topic of great importance to us, and so we will make sure internally that our folks in our academic office receive your presentation along with those who are working on attendance as well, and the tiers of support to provide. So thank you for continuing to share that with us. We're always open to find out how can we make sure you're engaged in school, interested about TikTok, interested about the attention span and what needs to happen in that space. I think for all of us that do an education policy, it's worth us thinking about the interplay of that and technology and what that looks like for us, and AI and everything else that's coming along the way. But I just really wanted to thank you for sharing your thoughts with us and know that it is appreciated and will be utilized. And Sharice, thank you so much as always for your work with this group.
Wonderful. Thank you all. And to those of you that are graduating senior, we wish you the best in your next endeavors. All right.